Sangila Wadlwan, Kasunudlang Aiden, Bill Montgomery Atatekil Inudikian. My name is Bill Montgomery. Tihat Dagan, Yathans Klujus. I am Haida. My Haida name is Yathans Klujus. Kayalas Kustudikolagan, Tiu Yagalangangan. I am Raven from the Atlans clan of Doddens. Eskian Atlant Isat Diganagilagan, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I've been asked by Nancy, Patty, and Marg to speak with you regarding a couple of issues that they've heard me speak in some of our conferences and workshops held in Eastern Ontario. Nancy and Patty and Marg are all very strong advocates for not only our board but for our peoples. I'm very happy to do this for them. And for that, Tikwalang, Eskian, Tichaslang, Eskian, Titolang, Eskian, Hadlasis, Tlang Ath, Kila Agan. My brothers, sisters, and relatives, and all you good people, I'm happy to talk to you. A couple of things that they asked me to speak regarding were a couple of mantras that over the last 2 or 3 years have become prevalent within our province. One is a saying, not about us, without us. I can certainly understand how many people feel this way. Basically, people want the traditional teachings taught. They want people of specific cultures to come into their schools, their communities, their classes, and pass on those cultural teachings properly. Unfortunately, that's not always available or applicable to many of our peoples. As I mentioned, I'm Haida. There aren't many Haida in Eastern Ontario who have the capacity, the knowledge, the ability to come into our classes and provide our cultural knowledge. You'd be hard pressed to go to very many gift shops, either anywhere in Canada or the United States, any large museums anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't find Haida artwork either replicated or specific pieces shown. It's everywhere. I wouldn't doubt that many of you now are wearing Haida art, either whether it be a scarf, a pin, a hat, t-shirt. Northwest Coast art is very, very fondly thought of. It's everywhere, and to not teach about it would certainly be a disservice. Because you don't have Haida people or Northwest Coast natives within your community or access to them does not mean that you shouldn't teach about our cultures. The Haida culture is very easily accessible. We've been very well documented. Anthropologists for going back a couple of centuries have visited my family and recorded our stories, our songs, and our language. Not all to our liking, but that information is out there. I've taken the time to speak with several family members, many of whom you could be wearing their art or replicas of their art at the moment. And I've asked them how they feel about our art, our culture being shared amongst non-Haida. Overall, we have generally the same idea. We want our art, our culture to be known. We want that knowledge to be passed on. We're continually fighting certain environmental issues that support and that knowledge will be beneficial. But we want to have it done in the right way. Which brings me to the second saying, which is prevalent in Ontario at the moment. We don't want to see any more paper towel totem poles. Now, if they were to continue that statement, I would be happy. But most of the time they end it right there. You see, I personally would like to see paper towel totem poles in every school, as long as they're accompanied by a bulletin board that indicates the cultural teachings that were provided with that art project. See, just providing students with toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls and asking them to pick their favorite animals and put them on a paper towel totem pole is certainly appropriation. But to provide teachings about our culture and what these totem poles mean, what their original status was, that's a big difference. As I mentioned earlier, our culture is very well documented. There are many, many books written about our culture. It's easy access to many websites as well. To provide proper teachings with those totem poles is essential. So as I mentioned before, I can certainly understand how many people feel that those two particular sayings, not about us, without us, and we don't want to see any more paper towel totem poles in classrooms. They can be certainly justifiable. We do want to hear authentic voices. We do want to make sure that if accessible, if at all possible, you do have someone from a specific culture to provide those teachings of that culture. It's very important, but it's not always available. For those who continue to say those statements, it's certainly a luxury to have those cultural knowledge keepers, those cultural advisors, those senators to come into your classroom and provide teachings to your students. If that's not available, it's not an excuse not to do it. Our cultures are out there, and there should not be a reason, an excuse, not to provide knowledge and teachings for them as well. So please, continue to show those paper towel totem poles, but make sure you make the effort to provide those teachings as well. For those of you who are making those statements and are not Haida, you're basically appropriating our voice. You're speaking for us. That is also not acceptable. Hawa. Thank you very much.